Okay, great. So this is the January 6th Historic District Commission meeting. It is 7:02. We'll call the meeting to order. For roll call, we have Heather Getz,
Mark Nyquist.
Chad Alfeld.
and we will appoint Chad as a regular member today.
Bob Mccuster. I know it says Carly. That's my daughter.
I'm in the same boat. I have my daughters as well on here. And so to begin, we have application 2109 of Robert Mccuster, owner for certificate of appropriateness to install 27 rooftop solar panels on the roof of home located at 45 East Wetalk Street. So did you go by Robert or Bob?
I go by whatever you want to call me, but I go by Bob.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
So Bob, do you have anything that you would like to present? We have gone through the files, but I don't know if anything in particular.
No. And Mark, are you with the Sun Company or are you on the board? Mark Nyquist?
I'm on the board. Yep.
Oh, you're on the board. Okay. So, no, I just have a couple very short things. One is, I'm very excited about this, to be able to do my part in the world for by going solar. I just happened to drive through Northfield, Massachusetts, a very historical area. I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but it's really cool. But anyway, and I was just I can't help but notice that some people have some solar panels here and there, and some of them have them on the big stands out in the backyards and what have you. So, but anyway, so I think that I think it's a tough issue. I think sometimes when you decide to allow for people to have swimming pools or tennis courts, and you can kind of see them but not see them, and we put up fences and what have you. So I'm looking forward to any discussion or any other questions you have for me, because obviously you guys could feel any way you want about this whole thing here.
I kind of just have a question on the placement and location of the panels. Looking at the photos, it looks like are some of them south facing and then some on the back of the house?
Yeah, so yeah, they're primarily south facing, and then the one on the one on the L, the lower portion, the south portion, is that's really facing west.
Okay.
And and my neighbor right next door to me, whose house is built probably 6 years after mine, she's had solar panels there for at least 25 years in the back portion of her house.
Okay. Chad, Mark, do you have any questions?
Hey, Chad.
So your neighbor's house. So are the solar panels visible from the road at all?
Well, she has more trees. I've cut down $20,000 worth of trees, so mine would be more visible than hers. Hers are not in the main section in the front. They're just in the back part.
Yeah. So I was just on Google Maps, and I live in town. I've been here for a long time, but it's been a while since I've driven down the street. So I was just on Google Maps looking at doing a drive-by, if you will, of your house. And I think where you're trying to put the panels, that's going to be super visible from anybody going north on East Wetalk Street. Any panels you put on your roof there are going to be completely visible, and there's really no hiding that portion.
I agree. Yeah, especially since I took all the trees down that I did.
Have you? Well, the trees would be irrelevant anyhow. So if you had trees there that were covering it, we would not take the fact that you had trees into consideration, because we would look at it as if the trees were not there, would it be visible? Have you had any sort of solar path studies done, and are there any other possible locations to position it where it would not be seen from the road?
No, the only, the barn I have out back, I thought, well, maybe they could take a panel and put it out there instead, but that really complicates their problem. I feel like we get used to a lot of things in our lives. So if you were to go back 150 years or closer to 200 years, this house had no electrical lines. It had no power lines. And I think one of the most unsightly things that we have, which we don't even see, are power lines and all of these, the poles and all that stuff. They're all over the place. So, I mean, we get used to it. We don't even see them unless you live in a community that you don't have any. And then you go somewhere like here and they're everywhere. You go like, what? You take so to me, that's the same way the solar panels. I mean, I would prefer if we could just do an entire roof with these beautiful roof looking or slate looking, panels, but that's ungodly amount of money. So you can't do that. Maybe someday we'll all do that. So anyway, so I think that, you see more and more panels all over the place. I'd rather have them on the roof than in the yard, like a lot of people do now, where they put the big panel up, on the side of the yard somewhere, or this big satellite dishes, which I think are way worse looking in terms of historical significance than solar panels. But I get what, it's a discussion. It's worth a discussion and opinions and what have you. So,
Bob, I'll admit I've contacted Eversource to bury the power lines in this neighborhood.
Oh, you think they will?
No, the bill is much too high.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We have done the same.
Yeah.
Well, I'll call you and we'll compare notes.
Okay, sounds great.
The cost was, because I've buried power lines elsewhere, and it was a much different cost than here.
Well, and of course, when they put new developments up, then that's what they should do everywhere. All the utilities should be underground.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So, Bob, I think the concern I have, and I appreciate Heather's question about exploring it in other locations, is it is so highly visible. And so to me, in the historic district, right, if you take a look at the book, it is very particular about how we think about things, the size of bricks, the size of panes of windows, what the material is that's used on the house, the specific materials, right, that are used on the house. Some are appropriate and some are not appropriate. So the challenge for me is that's so highly visible and out of character with the historic district. And we actually just took an application, which is the same condition. So I'll admit I'm challenged with this. So I appreciate Heather's question about exploring the other options where it wouldn't be visible to the public the way I think that south-facing roof would be on the front of that, or the south of the roof line there.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It is what it is.
Yeah.
How much could be gained by just having them on the west side in the back, similar to your neighbor? And we have another resident on our street as well who has them just on the back, and they're not visible. I don't even believe they came to the board for it because they're not visible. Is that an option?
The only one that, if I just did the one panel on the back of the L, that wouldn't be enough electricity to do much. So that's why there's so many other panels.
Yeah.
No, and then the barn, I don't know if it's like away from the house. No, so that's when you get into these. That's why people put them out in the back field somewhere or whatever. So maybe Marshall can do that in the field behind me, give me some of his electric. So you can hide them.
So I don't have other questions.
Do you have any other questions, Mark?
No questions. I really just, I would maybe look more into the western facing roof line that you have there. As
really, there's only one though.
Option.
Just that's the problem. Yeah.
So I mean, it's difficult. Solar's not for every location, that's for sure. And I think this is one of them. We really need to, our job here is to make you guys happy as residents of the town, but as also preserve that area that you live in and preserve the architecture and the historic district there. So, it's a responsibility that all of us really enjoy, looking after, and it's a tough job sometimes when you want, solar panels can be a good thing. It's again, not for every location.
So, Bob, do you have anything else to add, or otherwise we will we'll close this portion and just deliberate amongst the board, but you will no longer be allowed to ask a question or anything. So I just wanted to make sure that you don't have anything left to ask or discuss. Okay, great.
Do you want me to sign off then, or?
No, you can stay on.
Okay.
Okay, so we will close the public portion of this application and talk amongst ourselves. I think that we just last month had this exact same application for another home, and we didn't approve it because of just what Mark really just said, and Chad. But it's a difficult time for it to, for the district and trying to preserve. I don't know if the solar panels and the way they look right now are necessarily, the look we're going for in the district. And, we're trying to preserve certain things from buildings and structures from certain time periods. And, I just don't think that the district is ready for solar panels to be facing the road.
Yeah, I agree, Heather. And we also commented last time that we're all very supportive, actually, of green sources of energy and want to be supportive of it. And unfortunately, some of the means to that are still can be prohibitive. As Bob had said, whether there's different types of approaches to the solar that can be more expensive. I had explored for my house actually geothermal, and those can be done with vertical wells or horizontal wells. I think I was probably 15 years a little too early for that, but there are other options, as you noted, to explore. But I think again, we just took a decision like this, and because of the visual impact of it, we did decline it. So. Heather, I suppose, Mark, I don't know if you have other comments, but I'm comfortable and ready to vote when we need to.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so would anyone like to make a motion? Or I'm happy to. I just want to see if either of you are interested in making it.
We always need Laura's help in making an appropriate motion. So.
Okay, so basically okay, Laura, we did this before. Okay, so we make the motion, but then we do not vote for the motion, correct?
So we always make a motion in the affirmative. So if you agree with it, it's aye. If you disagree, it's nay.
Okay, I just wanted to double check with that.
Not a problem.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve application 2109 of Robert Mccuster, owner, for a certificate of appropriateness to install 27 rooftop solar panels on the roof of home located at 45 East Wetalk Street. All in favor? All opposed?
Opposed.
Any nays? Nay. So it was voted against unanimously, so 0-3. Hello? But Bob, thank you so much. Are you on mute?
Yes. And so we need to move to minutes. Is that right?
Yes.
Next.
Okay. I didn't know if he was trying to speak. Okay, so moving on to minutes. The only correction that I could see from it is that Chad's name is under have not being in attendance and being in attendance, and he actually was in attendance, so we'll remove him from not being in attendance. But other than that, I didn't see anything.
Chad, you're talented. You can be here and not all at the same time.
I know. It's impressive.
The good news is it's the spelling's correct, right? That's how it is.
We're moving forward.
We've jumped that hurdle.
About that. Sorry about the dual.
It's okay.
But so I will remove you from not being absent or from being absent. Sorry.
Perfect. So I will make a motion to approve the December 2nd minutes with the change of removal of Chad Alfeld's name from not being in attendance. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? So unanimously 3-0 to approve the minutes. Let me see.
We did have the
Actually,
election of officers on the agenda, but you might want to table that, being that we do not have that many.
And
Yes, I was just going to say, let's table that for sure.
my apologies, Heather. I'm looking at this right now. I was not present at the December 2nd meeting.
You weren't?
I was not.
Who was, wait. Oh, it was myself, Diane, and Patty.
Yes.
So then you need to be, okay, so we need to.
Remove from
circle back.
present and kept in absent.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Was Patty, now I have to circle back to looking at those minutes. I was thinking of the meeting with you, myself, and Diane prior. So is Patty listed as being in attendance? I have to just let me circle back to it.
Yes. It was Heather, Patty, and Diane were in attendance.
So Chad needs to be removed from being in attendance.
Correct.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for
No.
that correction, Chad. Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the minutes with the change that removing Chad Offeld from being in attendance. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. And with that, I think we can make a motion to adjourn. Okay. Would anyone like to make that?
So moved.
Okay. A motion to adjourn.
And then just a second.
Second.
Bye.